Hello, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with No BS Golf again, presented by P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Just wanted to go over another conversation I had just the other day at the club in the golf shop. One of our guys there, he's working on his game, trying to get better, like most of y'all out there. And he's asked me a couple questions, and was talking about something he saw on YouTube. Hey, and anyhow, he was talking about takeaway and I don't know what all kind of information he got, but the big picture was I kind of started chatting with him. I'm like, hey, look, here's the thing. I said, you're talking about this perfect takeaway. Well, let's start there. There ain't no such thing as a perfect takeaway. That's just straight up BS. Now, there are definitely ways to start the golf swing into the takeaway, into the first movement away from, after you address the golf ball. That's what we call takeaway, right? And so, while there are some key, basic, fundamental movements that we probably would prefer to see most players try to achieve, there's no doubt about that, they're not absolute. And beyond that, the reality is the takeaway is so very, very indirectly related to how you actually strike a golf ball. So, while it is something to look for and it is something to think about, there's no doubt, and a lot of people have major issues with their takeaway. And that's where I would have to say, okay, if you've got some kind of major issue, if it typically starts from how you start, though, at setup, like how you hold it, for example. So if the face is way, way open or way closed or, whatever, in a certain orientation in that takeaway position, well, we'd have to first check, well, are you even holding the thing very good? That's the first check. But if you are, and the face is still dramatically in a position that we would not prefer to have you in, yeah, okay, well, takeaway probably needs to be worked on a little bit, just simply make things a heck of a lot easier. But the big picture is this. Not every player out there, especially if we look at the ones who are the best, right? The tour pros. Not every tour pro has the perfect takeaway, not even close. Furyk, for one, is an example. There's a couple of even Spieth. He's always worked on. He's worked on for years. He's never perfected it. So the point is that after we talked a little bit about it and pointed out that it may not be the key issue in your golf swing, we got to dive into the rest. And I went about the what I always do with all players. What are you needing to accomplish? What are you looking to do here? And he tell me a few things. Hit it this way, hit it. Okay, so he gave me a few things. I said, well, do you have any video of your swing? Have you even looked at it? He's like, yeah, I got video. So we took it out, and we took a look at the video, and I looked at the whole thing, and I'm like, look. I know what you're doing here, and you went to YouTube and you saw something, and guy promising you all these things with this perfect takeaway. BS. This player has a typical, for a lot of amateurs out there, super open face, relationship to his golf swing. What we call a very steep downswing in relation to path, swing plane, whatever you want to call it, and very little rotation through the golf ball. Through impact, that is, and all kinds of like scoopy and handsy flipping the club at the ball type impact going on. Not uncommon in the least bit. Over the years, especially when I was at Golf Tech there for 7 years or so, and all the swings that I saw in person in lessons, and then we did all kinds of review from swings from tournaments that were captured. I've probably evaluated at least 10,000 golf swings minimum. Yeah, could be more. I don't know. I lost track eventually. And the big picture is this. The vast majority of amateurs have all these things going on in their swings, just to different variations from one to the next. So, when we got to looking at it, I told him, I was like, look, you're going about this all wrong, because you could have the perfect takeaway, but it's not doing anything for you when it comes to these 2, 3, 4, 5 other things that are going on. And so I kind of walked him through some of the basic principles to it and said, hey, look, these aren't easy to learn. You're not going to get a tip and go learn how to do this stuff overnight. You're not going to go to YouTube and get some magical training, how to do this. But these are things that you need to understand, and why they're holding you back, and why they're more important than the perfect takeaway. And so we kind of went about it. We walked him through understanding body motion through impact versus hand motion, and how they both have their own role, but what their roles should be versus what they are or aren't for certain players. Talked about strikings, talked about controlling club face, and then different couple of key factors that we typically talk about in evaluation lessons as well. And so by the time we got to the end of it, he kind of went, oh, man, I'm just wasting time on YouTube. Yep. That's why I'm doing this right now. As I begin to start presenting topics and ideas and things to do in golf swings and so on and so forth, it's going to be the no BS approach, because that's what I've done my entire career. I don't BS people about what's going on. You got a big problem. You go to the hospital, you got shot. Somebody shot you. Ouch, right? Well, just throw a Band-Aid on it. That ain't going to work. Why would we do that to a golf swing? You got some major thing going on in your swing. Let's just take you to a range. Hey, try one of these and see if the ball goes a little bit better. Well, that's a Band-Aid. And a Band-Aid don't fix a gunshot wound. Right? We all know that. So why do we do it with the golf swing? Why do we do it on ranges and teaching golf all over the place? Well, I'll be honest, I don't know, because I certainly haven't done it that way. I learned a long time ago from people that were way better than me that have been doing this a long time. And they said, you don't Band-Aid golf swings. Band-Aids fall off. You got to actually get in there and fix the problems. And so that's what we're talking about here. So kind of went over that with him. It's one of those things that I've always discussed with students over the years, and you got to look at it from that approach. It's like you got to be realistic with what you're trying to do here, folks. If you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 issues going on that are holding you back, you've got to decide, are you going to do something about it or not? And if you are, then you need to attack the things that actually matter. The way to find that out is you need to find someone like me. You need to find someone who knows what they're talking about, that knows how to bypass the perfect takeaway and say, you know what, that's not the core issues right now. That's not what's holding you back. Move on to the things that are holding you back, get those things fixed, and then later we can come back and see, does that takeaway still hold you back? When you can get the answer to all those things, that's how you can unlock that door and go to the next phase of your golf life, of your development, if you will, and try to break down the barriers that you're trying to achieve. Break 90, break 80, whatever. That's how you go about it, folks. So just like the conversation I had with him, that's the conversation you need to have. And that's the conversation you can come have with me by starting with that evaluation lesson. Hey, and you know what? I know there's a lot of people out there like, well, you don't live in my neck of the woods. We got technology, folks. FaceTime, Zoom meetings, video sending back and forth. I teach students from all around the country still. My old students I don't live in the same town that I used to live in anymore. I still have conversations with them regularly. All we got to do is sit down and have a conversation first. We got to find out what's holding you back. That's how you get started, and that's how you find out what you should be doing versus what you shouldn't be doing. And that's what we do at No BS Golf, P45, Knuckle Down Golf. Hit me up anytime. Questions, be sure to reply. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share this out there on the old Twitterverse and everywhere else you possibly can, folks. I'll talk to you next time. Ryan Carpenter out.